All right, friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you a full moon in Pisces horoscope through the lens of astrotheology. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this and kind of dissecting a little bit deeper on the level of what this full moon means in the terms, again, through the lens of the Bible, through the lens of religion, okay, and how this plays out to where we're at now, okay? We have the sun in the sign of Virgo, okay? Virgo the Virgin. In ancient astrology, in Egyptian astrology, the year ended with the sun in Leo, the sun home in Leo, and then was born a new year into the sign of Virgo the Virgin, okay? Now, Virgo, Virgin, what that means is it means to not be owned by someone. A virgin had the option to say yes or no, okay? Yes to this, no to this. And depending on what we're saying yes or no to, determined our karmic fate, and at the end of our lives, if our heart weighed lighter than the feather or heavier than the feather, okay? So our karmic actions of what we're saying yes to or what we're saying no to determines our outcome through how we live here on planet Earth, as well as our ascension or transcension into the afterlife, okay? Now, Virgo also translates, to house of bread, okay? As does Bethlehem. Jesus, who was born in Bethlehem, the son, Jesus, the son, born in Bethlehem, the house of bread. And you can often see, let me show you this, you can often see Virgo the Virgin. Here, where is she? Oop. I'll just pull this up here. Look at this. In Egyptian mythology, the time when the sun was in the constellation of Virgo marked the beginning of the wheat harvest, thus connecting Virgo to the wheat grain. So you can often see pictures of the Virgin, Virgo, holding wheat or corn or something like that. In Judeo-Christianity, Jesus was born to a virgin in the town of Bethlehem, meaning bread. The ancient zodiac ended in the constellation Leo and began with Virgo. Virgo has the equivalent sign in Indian astrology as the Kanya, which also means maiden, and has even been connected with the Virgin Mary. Okay? This is extremely important. All right? Do you see where we're starting to go here? Now, Virgo, we've been talking about this for a minute here, is the analytical mind, right? Is the very focused mind. Now, in the Bible, it says not to judge, but who in the world doesn't judge? We say yes to this and no to this constantly. We say this is good and this is bad. This is evil. And this is angelic and this is demonic. And this is the direction I'm going to go into and this is the direction I'm going to avoid. Okay? Everybody judges, and we judge with our left brain, our analytical mind. This is science now, right? Our right brain is our sense of creativity, music. Now, where's the moon? All right, the moon in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by the age of Jesus, right? Jesus. So the first knowledge that we have, was the age of Taurus, which is the Sumerians, Babylonians, Egyptians, okay? Marduk, the sun god. Here we, after that Moses comes down with the 10 commandments, or the tablets rather, and he sees everybody worshiping the golden calf, which is a representation of the old age, right? Taurus the bull, makes them destroy it so we can enter the age of Aries, which is the ram's horn, the lamb, right? The lamb of the world, okay? Hercules is 12 legions, and then we have Jesus and the 12 disciples here in Pisces. He fed everyone with a loaf of bread and 2 fish. Okay, there are many, many allegories, and that's what the Apostle Paul said. This book is full of allegories, which means these are stories not to be taken literally. These are stories to inspire our minds to think creatively, to think differently. And Pisces is about that creativity. Pisces is about the oneness, right? Pisces is the right brain, okay, the 2 fish. Now, we have the sun in the analytical mind, and we have the moon, our emotional needs, in the right brain, in the creative mind. Now, we're talking about judging for a moment. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to show you this here. In Isaiah 45:7, look at this. King James Bible, this is God speaking. I form the light, and I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Well, let me ask you, if God, the Lord, the one true God, creates light and dark and good and evil, what role does the devil have to play? What role does Satan have to play? Or Lucifer, which we already know that those names, Satan is Saturn, Lucifer is light bringer in Latin, which it generally refers to the planet Venus, which is the brightest star, brightest planet in the sky before the sun comes up, the morning star and the evening star, right? This is astrological, right? So every 9 months, Venus moves before the sun or after the sun. Okay, and that determines whether it's the morning star or evening star. And remember, the Apostle Paul said these are allegories. Okay, we're talking about the planets. We're talking about the wanderers. So God here is saying, I create light and dark. I create good and evil. And yet we humans skip over this extremely important detail in the Bible, and we want to say these are two separate things. This is the analytical mind confusing us. This is the analytical mind getting in the way of the right brain, the creative mind, the mind of oneness. Okay? Because we're judging and we're saying your religion is wrong and my religion is right and what you did here with your life is not the, let me come back here to this chart. Oops. To this chart, the zodiac is all about balance. Okay? Self and others and my possessions and our possessions and my thoughts and our collective thoughts and my emotions and our work, or my home, and then big business. Okay, we have me, my ego, my self-expression. We have the community. We have our work, service, the analytical mind, our creativity, the oneness, the right brain. Okay, this is all about balance. So when we look at life and we want to judge, and there are certainly things that we can say, yes, this is not correct, or this is not proper in the sense of how we should live a human life, and there are certain, criminal activities that are done. And it's just like all of this is the Lord. All of this is God. The good and the evil. It is all balance. And that's hard to swallow. There are certain things that are just absolutely terrible in this world. And at the same time, it says this is about balance. If there is this, then this must exist as well. If the happiest, most joyful, loving, beautiful human being exists, then so does the ugly, evil, dark, manipulative. It is balance, and all exists within this realm, okay? And it is our left brain, our analytical mind, that determines on this being right or this being wrong. Now, let's get even deeper. Let's get deeper. Matthew 6:22. Check this out. All these are the King James Bible. These words get really confusing. There's 200, 2,000 different freaking Bibles, and they all say something different. King James Bible, Matthew 6:22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Okay, now what does that mean if the eye be single? Okay, here again we have the analytical mind, left brain, opposition to the moon in our right brain, in Pisces, this oneness, this creativity, okay? Their dreams and our imagination, all right? Now, Jesus goes on to saying in John 2:16, here you go. And he said to them, cast the net. Now, again, we're talking about fishing, okay? Jesus ruling the age of Pisces is about fishing. The Apostle Paul explaining that these are allegories. So, and he said to them, cast the net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. They're talking about fishing. So they cast, and now they were not able to draw it in because of the multitude of fish. Okay, so what is this saying? When we let go of our left brain, when we let go of our analytical mind, and we move to the right brain, we move to the creative, mind. Okay? This is the goal. It's to the right. And that's why like left-handed people throughout history were looked at as like evil or something. It's absolutely insane because how many times in the Bible talks about left versus right? Look this stuff up. It's really fascinating. Left versus right, left versus right. And, those with the right hand, there are so many, I don't even want to get into all of them. Okay, but what this is saying is teaching to use your right brain, to get out of the left mind, to get out of the analytical mind, and come into this mind of oneness. Okay, now also, when we look at the zodiac, we have to remember that this is a mirror. Okay, that although we're seeing here this is north, this is east, south, and west, it's not. We know that the height of the sun is in Cancer. Okay, the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year is in Capricorn. Okay, and this is the east and this is the west. And when the sun moves through Pisces and begins now our current year starts here in Aries, according to our astrological year, although in the calendar year it starts up here in Capricorn, right, in the wintertime. In the east, this is when summer comes. This is Easter, when the sun moves over the equinox, and now we have food starts to grow, all of these things. And then here in Virgo season, the house of bread, Bethlehem, okay, this is harvest season. So this harvest full moon is extremely important throughout history of understanding where we're at and the services, because Virgo is about the services, right? The services that we provide for ourselves and for others is how we survive the winter. Okay? How we survive the winter. So furthermore, what does that mean when we're talking about the one eye? The single eye. All right? The single eye is your pineal gland, your third eye. Right? So when we meditate, the Kundalini yoga, if you're looking at Kundalini, I love Kundalini yoga. It's all about breath and movement, a little bit different than Hatha yoga, which is your normal downward dogs and warrior ones and those things, which is lovely. I love Hatha yoga, but Kundalini yoga is more dealing with breath, and these holding these positions and fire breath and moving your belly, stuff like that. And it's the idea that we have this oil at the base of our spine, and like the caduceus, which is the serpent rising, okay, like this, we bring this oil up the 33 vertebrae to the pineal gland, okay? So with our meditation, with our focus, Sun in Virgo, with our focus on our breath, breath, again, meaning spirit, okay? Inspire is to inhale. Latin, expire is to exhale. To perspire is to breathe through. Okay, this is about breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Spirit is breath. This Holy Spirit all around us. This breath is our sacred medicine. Okay? And when we connect with spirit, when we connect with our breath, and we meditate, we let go of our overthinking monkey mind, we let go of the analytical mind, and we move to where the moon needs us. Our emotions, okay? We need to focus on the right brain. And when we bring this energy up, when we let go of that monkey mind, when we let go of our analytical mind, and we breathe and we connect with spirit, we connect with source energy, that Kundalini, the serpent rising, okay, it brings the oil, Christos, oil anointed with oil, Christ, brings the oil up Jacob's ladder, the 33 vertebrae of the spine, and ignites the pineal gland. The pineal gland is called the third eye, okay? So when you see with one eye, or the lamp, here, coming back to this, look at the one right above it. So this is, King James is the light of the body is the eye. And then what do you have here? New King James Version, the lamp of the body is the eye. Okay, therefore, if your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. Okay, how cool is this? So in essence, we're saying getting rid of our over-analytical mind, moving to this place of oneness, letting go of judgment, which is something that's taught in the Bible. Okay? Understanding that God, Lord, creator of all things, is the sole creation of good and evil. And now let's look at that word for just a moment, those two words, good and evil, God, devil. Okay, it's like it's Zoroastrianism. I always screw up that name. It's a religion that came between Judaism and Christianity, which split everything up. And it said if there is this, there must be this. If there is up, there must be down. And it said if there's good, there must be evil. Where clearly in the Bible it states that God is the creator of all good and evil, and this all loving God who is literally, humans took a bite of an apple, said all this is here for you, but you bit this apple, and now I'm going to punish you. And you're going to feel pain and death, and births are going to be painful, and not only are you two punished for eating this apple, but every single child you bear and every single person for the rest of life will now feel my wrath and suffer the eternal consequences for you eating the apple, although I told you in Genesis 1:6 that all of this that I've created is here for you. Okay, this is extremely contradictory. It's extremely contradictory. All right. So judgment. Judgment is where we're headed here. Judgment. Letting go of our own judgments. All right. Now, let me bring this back to the zodiac. We've got the sun here in Virgo the Virgin, in the analytical mind, Mercury, the ruling planet, Hermes, right? Mercury, the messenger of the gods. This is our brain. This is our intellect. Okay? Ruling of Gemini, ruling of Virgo. Very focused here. Okay? And we've got an opposition going on here to Neptune. Neptune home in Pisces. Now again, Neptune is very serious home in Pisces, as we see many things happening over its 16-year cycle that it's there. Okay, we see the opioid epidemic. It's something I've talked about before. The opioid epidemic. People using technology, okay, video games, smartphones, televisions, anything to escape this reality. Escaping being in tune and in touch with nature. The nature of ourselves, the inner, right? The inner self, and this nature outside of body. The trees, the forests, the rivers, the seas, the animals, right? That fear us now instead of live harmoniously with us. So we have, sorry, this is so, brain's full of stuff. I lost my train of thought here. So we have this escapism going on, okay? Again, that opioid epidemic. And then on the other hand, because there's always a dualistic nature within astrology, within everything. On the other side of the spectrum, we'll say that. There's a whole spectrum to each sign and each planet. Okay, the other end of the spectrum is the rise of the shamans. We're seeing more and more and more of, it's like you had to travel to Peru, or you'd had to travel to indigenous lands and meet with indigenous people in order to gain the wisdom from these natural medicines, which for some reason here in the United States of America are deemed illegal. Okay, I'm a huge fan and supporter of all of that kind of medicine work, of natural medicine work, and what's happening there is we're bringing people back to nature, bringing people back to self, back to connecting with ourselves, back to connecting with spirit, back to connecting with our breath, back to connecting with nature. Okay, and letting go of this analytical mind that's saying this is right and this is wrong. All right. Now we have both the sun and the moon this very special year making a very special connection to Uranus. Okay, Uranus, which is ruled by Aquarius, or the planet best associated with Aquarius, the rebel. Okay, here breaking things up in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is about what we value, the things that we value. Okay, now there's a lot of keeping up with the Joneses. There's a lot of I have to have the newest shoes to stay popular, or I have to have the iPhone 27 in order to take the best pictures for people to like my Instagram channel. And Uranus is here saying, man, we have to change this aspect of humanity. Remember, Aquarius is also about humanity. Pisces is about I believe. And in Aquarius, this is about I know. Okay? So we've gone from I have, I am, I believe to I know. Okay? Which means all of this information that I'm talking about right now is available for us. That's the beauty of the Age of Aquarius, is that all this information is here. You can find out the true origin of Santa Claus is shamans in the North Pole giving Amanita muscaria, the red and white mushrooms, to people and literally hanging them above fireplaces to dry out these mushrooms, hanging them in stockings to dry the mushrooms out, to eat these psychedelic mushrooms on the 25th, which is the solstice, which is extremely important every year. And if you can go into that, look at this. I'll show you something else. Now in our astrology, the sun is born here on December 25th. Now the 21st, 22nd, the sun moves from Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius what? Is the Minotaur. Okay, the half horse body, half man with the spear and arrow. Okay, they show different things in his hands. And as the sun enters the sign of Capricorn. Okay. And remembering that this is a reflection. Okay, so let's check this out. Pontius Pilate, the name Pilate, summary meaning freedom or equipped with spears. Okay, equipped with spears. So we have the sun entering the cross, which is a zodiac sign right here. It's called the crux of the zodiac, the southern crux, which is alpha major, beta major, theta major, and delta major. It's a cross. The sun enters the southern cross on the 21st of December when it moves from Sagittarius, the Minotaur, or, it's throwing the spear and piercing the side of Christ. The side of the Son of God, the Son who lights the world, the Son who walks on water, which our sun, this light of the world, truly walks on water. We see its reflection, right? It's beautiful. So when we understand, this Apostle Paul, what he meant when he said these are all allegories, when we look at the astrology in the Bible, when we look at the numerology in the Bible, we even talked about 666 the other day, about being carbon, and we are carbon and a carbon-based world. When you break that down into numerology, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 6 is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 is higher consciousness. Okay, coming back here. The mark of the beast. If we're using our left brain, if we're using our judgment, analytical mind, we're never going to reach, Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you, okay? So to reach this kingdom of heaven is in the head. We have to let go of our judgments. We have to believe in ourselves, and come back to our breath, come back to nature, letting go of these material things that are distracting us from nature, material things that are distracting us from self, or these comforts. A Taurus thing is about comforts, right? And that's the rebellious Uranus, the great awakener, shaking things up as well, like we talked about on the full moon video, like letting go of, I have a headache, I'm going to eat some aspirin. It's like, okay, well, what's going on with the body? I don't want to put a Band-Aid on a broken bone. I want to heal. And the body is miraculous at healing, right? So we're letting go of some of these things that we think that we need. I think I need caffeine. I think I need sugar to give me a bump, a little boost. But it's like, well, if the body does, if you just eat healthy, then the body will naturally create and sustain what it's supposed to do. Right? So we're trying to go back to that space, trying to go back. While moving forward in humanity, we have to come back to nature, come back to self, come back to breath, come back to the belief in ourselves, and let go of our analytical mind. And how do we get there is through meditation, through yoga, right? Something I talk about all the time on this channel. Our connection with our breath. All right. So I just wanted to share this with you today, as it's very significant. All right, what's going on right now? The sun, the virgin birth, all of this stuff, and just to kind of understand where we're at in these times, and how these times are changing, and how the age, and just like Moses, and that's part of my job here on planet Earth. It's very clear to me through my own meditations that just as Moses made the people destroy the golden calf because this was an old age, okay, it is my job and duty to help humanity enter this age of Aquarius, and to do it so without being so here in our smartphones, but help to decipher these allegories, these hidden meanings in the Bible and through religion that are old allegories that no longer serve where we're at. But if we can look at them and understand what they are, then it can help us out to soften the blow. You know, we're not going to be here destroying tablets saying, you did bad. You weren't ready to receive this answer. It's like, no. We were taught wrong. We were taught wrong. When I first discovered some of this stuff, it was about 11 years ago. It was when it got me into astrology. And at first I was so mad. I was mad at my parents. I was mad at my pastors. I was mad at the youth pastor, you know, like, and then I had to come to myself and say, they didn't know. They didn't know. There's a guy named Bill Donahue. I absolutely love him. He's someone that talks a lot about this kind of stuff. Bill Donahue and Santos Bonacci, both guys you can find on YouTube. Bill is all about this work, the Bible in astrology, where Santos, brilliant mind, speaks 7 languages. He can make all these connections with every freaking religion, the zodiac. Very complex, but brilliant. I'll put a link in here underneath this video if you want to check those two people out, because they're amazing to dive deeper into this kind of thinking. And you know, and Bill Donahue says, you know, this is the blind teaching the blind. You know, that's something else in the Bible, and that's where we came from. I was blind. I was blinded by the knowledge that the pastor gave me, that my parents gave me. I love you. I love you. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault, because this has been 2,000 years of the telephone game gone wrong that we just simply didn't understand. We weren't in the know that we are now in the age of Aquarius, in the know, right? And Bill says, you know, it's like we're in a psych ward and you got person on you know, floor 6 going down to floor 4 and saying and asking another patient, well, what's wrong with me? And the patient on floor 4 says, you got demons in you. That's what's wrong with you. And he says, oh, okay, well, now I understand. So then he goes back up to floor 6 and, hey, everybody, I know what's wrong with me. I've got demons in me. Well, how do you know? Well, the patient on 4th floor told me. You know, we're spreading these things, and that's why I wanted to pull up this stuff for you, you know, to see some of the stuff. And I highly encourage to fact check me, look at all of this information and do our own research, because we're changing. You know, the church is going to change. The church, the Christianity, where we've been, is going to fall, as that golden calf must be broken. The age of Jesus and Pisces must be broken to enter the new age. And we want to do it with kid gloves, with soft hands, with an open heart, and not telling people they were wrong for thinking or believing. All right? So, tip of the iceberg, Pisces full moon, okay, coming back to breath, coming back to spirit, coming back to oneness, the oneness of Pisces. All right? That's what our emotional moon is needing of us right now, and we can see it clearly through the illuminated analytical mind of the sun, saying, go here to the other side, cast your net to the right, and collect all these fish. All right, my friends, happy fishing to you. Happy full moon. We will see you later today for tomorrow's horoscope.